Hey guys, how's it going? It's Ollie here from CryptoVest.com. Today is the 20th of September and we're going to be looking at Zilliqa trading against Bitcoin over 4-hour candles. I haven't actually been caught up with Zilliqa for a long time now. I think the last time I checked it out was sometime in Q2. It's just been in a very strong bearish decline since, so I haven't really caught up with it much. But some interesting things now that I have actually checked it out that I thought I'd bring to some people's attention. Just as a disclaimer, I don't actually hold any Zilliqa. This isn't a shill. This is just me floating some ideas and seeing what the rest of the wider community think about it. So let's just wander all the way back to the beginning here. And we're on a Binance chart. And Zilliqa first appeared on the Binance exchange around March 2018. So it's fairly new to the market. It had this absolutely huge gain after it hit the bottom at 400 sats, or 350 sats here it says. It just had this massive run up. You can't really see it there, but 605%. So we just had a huge gain over sort of 2 months, as people just really sort of swamped this asset, got really excited about it, and then it hit this top at 2,500 sats, massively overinflated, like it's just so overbought at this point, and then from there it's just sort of unraveled all the way through the rest of this year. And as you can see, like there's some sort of strong bullish pullback to begin with, and then just over time the pushback's just been getting decreasingly lower each time. It finally found the bottom fairly recently, sort of through mid-August, around 500 sats, and it's now started to push back again. And then it sort of dropped back down and it's now started to rest. And some interesting things to sort of pick up on. So in terms of announcements-wise, there hasn't been a great deal going forward. The Zilliqa team have actually postponed their mainnet launch, which may attribute to the sort of bearish decline. But basically they needed to do further security audits, they needed to bring more dApps on board, and they just needed to prepare a bit more for the token swap. So they've pushed that now all the way through, maybe to the end of this year or January. They haven't given like a definitive date for it yet. So that's kind of put people off. But there has been a recent strategic partnership with Infoteria, which is a leading Japanese software company. And the idea is once they move over to mainnet, Infoteria will help drive the sort of mainstream adoption of the Zilliqa platform. That's going to get people excited. So it's likely that the asset will kind of continue in this sort of zone here. So sort of maximum top end is 735 sats. And then it seems quite happy along this support here at 470 sats, although we do have a nice buy zone here. So if it does drop into it, like it did in August, this would be a really good buy zone. It would be a long hold. This isn't a short-term gainer, I don't think, at least. There hasn't been a lot posted on their social media channels to suggest that it's going to go anywhere anytime soon. But some sort of general interesting things. So the 50 EMA line is fairly close to the 200 EMA, and this would be a really nice golden crossover, would be a very strong signal of a bullish reversal. And as you can see, the last time these two lines met was all the way back in June, just before the really strong bearish decline. So for the blue line to cross over the red would hope to see a very good sign. But for now it looks like it's just going to travel along this support line if it does happen to drop in. So I think it will be very dependable on Bitcoin right now, because they haven't really got any announcements going themselves. They might rely on Bitcoin's performance to sort of lift them and drop them depending on what it does. So a drop in here would be a particularly good buy. Alternatively, there is a really hard bottom. So at the bottom here is at around sort of 350 sats. The asset very briefly dipped here after it released on the market and then shot up. So you can see, so this would be a very, very low price point for Zilliqa. I think the market would have to take a particularly bad turn for it to hit this point again. This support here at sort of 300, 400 sats seems to be much stronger. So from here, so let's take a look at other indicators over short term. So I'll have a look at MACD first, just to get an idea of the general trend. So as you can see, sort of towards the end here, so we've actually been traveling flat for the last sort of week or so. But on the MACD, actually, it's looking kind of promising. We're actually climbing back towards a signal line. And the 12 MA is actually over the 26 MA. So this blue line's climbing above the red line. And there's some buying candles on top of the histogram here. So that's a fairly good sign. The buying momentum is increasing. If we get rid of that, so we'll take a look at the RSI to get an idea. See where the sort of momentum is in terms of the general channel. So yes, we're climbing again, so it's showing a general increase in trend towards the middle of the channel. A little bit of sort of back and forth, a little bit of uncertainty, but overall a general uptrend, which is sort of fairly okay. So we may see something here. Let's have a look at the Ishimoku indicator to give us a bit of a better idea as to where it could go in the short. So okay, so kind of interesting. Let's widen this out a bit. So you can see actually, so interestingly, the candles over 4-hour candles are actually starting to pass through the resisting Kumo cloud here. And if candles can actually close above this cloud and continue on, we may actually see a movement sort of into this cloud here. So you kind of want to see something along this line, passing through the cloud, breaking through the first resistance, which shouldn't be too hard. I mean, it did it here quite, as you can see here, passed through the red cloud quite easily, came back down a little bit, but then pushed on. This seems to be a much stronger resistance at 695 sats here, so we may see it enter into this channel here for a brief period. I don't think that would be enough of a movement to really pull the 50 EMA over the 200 EMA, but it depends on sentiment and if people are really getting behind it, because it is a very, very cheap coin right now. I think it's 3 cents, so and it's got a lot going for it in terms of the technology behind it and its sharding capabilities and things like that. So yeah, so it could potentially do this over the next over the next month or so towards Q4. But yeah, so kind of an interesting thing. I think for now, though, it looks like it just wants to sort of hang out in this area. Maybe oscillate all the way through here. December's sometime around here, so we could expect to see a sort of arcing, you know, as we get closer and closer towards the main net, you could see some sort of like parabolic movement up towards sort of earlier highs. But for now, it looks like it's just going to be tracking, kind of coasting along this support line. So yeah, so a long hold, an interesting one for people to think about. But for the full TA, guys, you want to head over to cryptovest.com. The link will be in the description. And yeah, please like and subscribe and let me know what you think. Cheers.